Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be using Canva.com for another project with graphic designing. And if you're not quite sure what Canva.com is, I'm going to remind you, don't worry. Canva.com is a multiple tool for graphic designing that you can use for Facebook posts, you can use for Instagram stories, you can use it to create your t-shirts, you can do it for your coffee mugs, your resumes, your what else have we done? We've done so many. That's why you should check those out and subscribe. So, what else? We've used for brochures, we're used for infographics, we have used it for business cards, logos, YouTube, channel art, so many different choices that you have to choose from as far as designing. And you're going to hear me say this a little bit later on too, but because of the interface is so awesome, it stays the same. So if you are even designing just a picture, you're going to be able to design anything. Alright, so let's get to it. So today we're going to be creating exactly a newsletter for your marketing campaigns. Alright, so of course now we are using the 30-day free trial for Canva's Pro features. So that's free for 30 days. That unlocks everything, so take full advantage of that. You can do that in the link in the description below. Don't waste time. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you designed and how I helped you be that graphic designer. Alright, so let's stop wasting time. Let's jump into it. Of course, you hear me again, always repeating probably the same thing if you are following me and kind of watching everything. There we go. If you're new, this information is specifically for you. Alright, I like to use templates. Why I like to use templates? Because sometimes I'm not so creative. I don't have so many awesome ideas. So I like to see what other people have actually kind of created and kind of base my model from that. Now, if I want to change it, I can just change it a little bit, change the colors, or I can actually create a blank page right below it and just kind of work around it and create that. So that's why we're always choosing templates if you didn't know already. Alright, so coming up here to the templates, you're going to locate that at the upper left-hand side corner as you're facing your computer. Right beside home, templates. And because we're doing marketing, we've done infographics, brochures, and then we're going to do newsletters. So we're going to click on that. We're going to let it load. Just takes us like 5 seconds, right? Alright, so browse by the categories. The categories here is like real estate, school, Christmas, email, family, company as well. That's the categories. If you want to filter, go ahead and take the time and hit view more because there's so many more, right? So we have schools, headers, email, education, student, classroom. So a lot of those, pink, business, corporate, illustrations, real estate, line, family, church, so many of them. So you can select multiple of these just to kind of show. If you just want computers, just click computers, obviously. And scrolling down, and you can see how many there are, right? So as far as style, you can choose the style as well. So if you click school, and then you can come down and choose like a modern school, a photo of school, simple, minimalist, right? The same for view more. And you still have a bunch more choices. So that's really telling you for the newsletter how many choices they really have. Now let's just take a look here. Let's see, Cordell Cosmos. If you like it, hit the heart and it will save to your favorites. You'll see it, add it to likes. And you can do it from here as well if you're just kind of like browsing kind of quickly. Let's see, click, okay, click, and then you come back to your likes and then kind of like choose from there, right? Or you can just click on it to get a full view, the same. And we can take out, let's see, this one has 2. So here we go. And you can see what they have to offer, right? Alright, so the blue, orange, and yellow shapes, vibrant graphic, right? So you can do that. And you can see that it has more like this. Newsletter name, right? So this is, of course, just a generic name. So these are the different newsletters based on this. So I don't want to do this one, so I'm going to exit out, and we can do something like the Herald, newspaper, right? The news, classroom. You can see they're a little bit different here. Let's see, flash sale. All right, the creative layer from the bell tower, right? So they're all newsletters. I want to do one for school. Everybody's back to school now. Let's see. I'm just going to click on school. So 230 different choices. So there's the Cordell, the Herald, and the Loop. All right, in the Loop. Let's take a look at this one. Because it's black and white, I want to show you how to add a little color to it. Maybe you like how the format is in itself. So I'm just going to change that. All right. Now, of course, we're going to customize this template. Alright, and we're going to let it load. It takes like 2 seconds, and I have very slow internet, so you can imagine if it's going fast for me. So if you have better internet, man, it's like that. So it's done. Alright, now, of course, I'm going to zoom in. Bad eyesight, as you've heard me say before. Alright, there we go. Now we can see a little bit better, right? Okay, now as you can see, of course, with newsletters, if you're familiar with them, I imagine you are a little bit if you're creating one. In the loop, we're just going to change some of this a little bit. It's definitely not March 21. So when you want to change the text, double click, you can see here. But before I change the text, notice the blue lines for those of you that are new to our channel and new to Canva. The blue lines are your borders, like especially this big one that's going around the entire page. So that's your working area. So anything outside this blue line won't show, and everything inside of it will. Alright, now when you hover over something like the text box, and this is like where the text is, this will highlight, so you can see that one click. And every time you hover over it, it shows you that it's actually a different component to your design. So whether it be an element, a picture, a text box, right, or even a video box, everything, audio, whatever you're doing, doesn't really apply for us now, but it will hover up in light. So when you're changing the text, double click. Don't do what I've done a million times. If you just like click, for example, like this, and then you hit backspace, it will delete the whole thing. Don't do that mistake. I do it a lot. Double click, and you have two options here. You hit the backspace or right click on this, and you can do it. Now, the flashing line, that tells us. So, of course, we're in September, so I'm going to put September 2021. Is it 2021? It's 2021. I get a little confused with everything that's going on. Alright, so in the loop. I'm going to change that to a little bit because for one, I'm going to put we are in the loop. Just going to go over the text box. And I want to change the font. It's kind of boring. We don't want that. Let's see what this one looks like. We in the loop. Oh, that's bad, bad, bad. Okay. We are in the loop, right? And I'm also going, because it went bigger, I'm going to make it a little smaller, using the decrease font size minus button here, and you can do the plus. All right. We're going to leave it there for like the title. I'm just going to space it out a little bit. There we go. And I'm also going to change the font color. The font color, that blue, is really horrible for me. Alright, so add another palette. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Now, let's see. Now we can do the brand kit. Yeah, no, maybe not. Let's go over. Alright, so now, document colors. Here we go. Right here. So let's change that to like something like that. We are in the loop. Alright, there we go. Now we change that up. Now, okay, updates for the parents of Beach Town High. Fantastic. Alright. We can make that bigger too, the same by clicking on it. There we go. Alright, now here's the overview. You're going to be able to change this. This picture, let's go over how to change pictures, right? Now this, you can see it's kind of like overview. It's more of like a transparent type deal. I'm not going to really keep that. I think it's even horrible when you're printing this, actually, because it's like it really shows out the picture. So how to get rid of that, for example, you can see here, it's just exactly transparency. You see how it pulls that up? Don't worry. I'm going to move this right here for now, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete, right? And if you take my advice from earlier when you're doing this, I'm just changing the template. If you want to create a new template or a new page, just click add page and it'll add a new page, and you can even just click drag and drop over there for what you do like and what you don't, right? So you can do that. Now, I got rid of that. Now, you see, I can't find this. So when I'm hovering over that component, that's really awesome for the blue lines. Why I can help you for, especially if you're changing. Now, this picture, let's see, it is what? It is a father and looks like maybe a mother, right? Kissing a daughter. I'm going to right click. I'm also going to delete that. And now I'm going to come over to photos. I'm coming to photos and not elements exactly. Because I want to exactly have a photograph. Now I'm going to put family in the search bar because that is my idea. Or it can be here anything, right? So like here's these families, right? Even this right here. You see that looks dude, that looks better than the black and white. And you can kind of scroll down, and they have a lot of choices that just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. So take full advantage of that. So this is a family, and I'm going to make it even more. Family in a school. There you go. Check out that. How much better is that? Okay, let's delete that. I really don't want that. So since we are in a school, where you can kind of choose, right? Let's see. If you when you're taking one, you're not quite sure because sometimes they can be rather small. Click, hold, drag over, and you can kind of see the size that it's going to have, and you can kind of see that it's bigger a little bit, and you can choose. Just don't let go, and then drop it again. So you can continue here. Let's see, that's school again, seeing his brother. No, that's sweet. All right, let's try that. All right, now I'm going to make this bigger. And also what's cool about this and this design, and again it's mine, is because it has a space here. When I put this typing here, it's going to kind of fit. You can see. Now there's probably not enough space for it all, and that's okay too because we will make space. All right. Now as far as when you're moving a picture and you're like worried like, oh, I can't get it, that's what's cool here too. Because if you notice, I'm going to move here. Do you see that purple line? Because I'm holding the mouse, I can't really scroll over and show you, but there's a purple line, and it shows, there we go, right there. Now that shows you that you are in the center of the page, and this is the center. Right now, we move this over just a taste here, and it's going to do it again because we need to get our edges. There we go. That's the center of the page, and it's equally on each side. Now, of course, I'm going to drag down just a taste, and keep in that purple line. And the same thing, every purple line is going to show you the center, whether it be horizontal or vertical. You'll have that. All right, now I'm going to take this text, and there's two things that we can do. All right, one, we can make the text smaller, and I'm going to do the overview a little smaller too, and this one as well. So definitely click on that, and I'm going to just stretch this out a little bit bigger, and I'm going to click on this box and make this bigger, and I'm just going to kind of fit it right there. Alright, so now you can see that I've moved this. Now maybe you agree with that, maybe you don't, that's fine. I can add some color to these. Overview, right, I can match these colors, right, I can make them all bold even, and that way it makes it easier to read. And I can make like some blues, or I can make some purples, so you can kind of like play around. Again, I'm not too good with like the color choices here. I have a bit of a strange color. But you can see the idea of it, right? So that is creating, so far, how we just changed. Pretty cool, right? Alright, so we just added pictures, right? And of course, about the South Africa and the Canadian provinces of Alberta. Okay, so of course, all of this text is like what's automatically on the template. So of course, if you just want to put your own text, right, and I'll show you how to do that, I'm going to hit delete. You see how that happened? It deleted everything, and that text box is still there. Alright, so guys, alright, family day at school. Oh, we forgot one. See, we covered it up. Alright, not a problem. Let me show you how to do this. So we're going to move this picture back out. We're going to do this. Really quickly. So you can see there's this line too. Click off of it. Now you can see it, and drag and do this. Alright, now you see we selected the line and we selected the type. Now click right, and you can see group, and what this is going to do is put everything together. Click group, and now I can bring it down just a taste. Alright, now I can move my picture back to where I had it using the purple lines. And now I didn't forget anything. Except for this one, and right there. And you can even see the purple line lines up with this exactly as well. So there we go. Now we didn't forget anything. So even if you make a mistake, it's easy. Just come up here and click undo, or Control+Z, and that will undo it for you. Alright, so we've done that. Pretty easy. Now what about the text, right? So the picture kind of moved down a little bit, and I'm going to move this one and move it up. There we go. Alright, so here we even have another text box. You can do just regular writing, for example, but let me show you the text box. Click text. So if you have a heading, click a heading, And there you can go. And use this to move it because sometimes it can be a little finicky. And I'm going to put our first day. It's very huge. I'm going to make it smaller. Alright, and I'm going to do the body of a text. And you can drag and drop it instead of just double clicking, and sometimes that's easier. Alright. Now, I say this is my first day, and the loop, it's happy, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Right. So you'll put all of that. So of course, the same thing applies to how we did earlier. You can change the font, you can change the color to this. So if you want to keep it black, that's cool. Let me change this for just a second. I'm going to make it gray here, and I'm going to make this maybe like blue, right? Alright, and it's blue, and I also want this to, let me just highlight all of this. Some of the fonts that you choose, like Calgary for example, don't like to let you have the bold or italics. Let's see, Chloe, will it do? Nope. So you can see some of them do. Here we go, this one does, and there we go. Bold and italic. This day in the loop, it's, alright, cool. Alright, so now we've created that. So if you want to create a line, come up to Elements, and you're going to find that like Lines and Shapes. You can just like click and it will show up right here, or just drag and drop it again. Now, of course, it's huge. Don't worry. I'm going to create it and make it smaller, like this, by dragging it down, and I'm going to move it right here. And here in the upper hand corner, you're going to change the color, the thickness of it, right? Where you can kind of like this, you see. There we go. And I'm going to make it very thin. All right, and I'm going to change the end. So the one on the left is the left end. So if you want that, all right, and if you want the right, we can choose the same. And there we go. And that is it. And you can see that after you click off of it. Of course, now you can make the line actually dotted, solid as well. Let's do dots. And I'm going to make the line a little bit thicker. Drag. There we go. And I'm going to change the color to this blue as well. Alright, now we have that. So let's go back to shapes though. See all, I like to use the shapes, especially when I'm wanting to like make a box for the text. We can do that. So you can see all of the different shapes, right? Hands, hearts, so many. So I am just going to choose this one. It has a little bit of a shadow. And another thing about these, you can see that it says like free, 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 right? That's any plan with any free thing that you can have. Now, when you see, and you're coming down, you're going to see maybe not here in the shapes. You're going to see them in other elements. I'll show you in a moment. But if they have a crown on it, it's Pro. And if you have the free Pro series, or the features of that, it will just have the crown plus free, right? So, all right, now you can see it's kind of transparent in this way, except for the line, but I don't want that. So now I want to put it in the front. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to highlight everything, right click, I'm going to group it, and I'm also going to move this. Now you see I'm moving it halfway. There's a reason for that. So once I do that, and I can click and actually send it backwards or frontwards for that. But I'm just clicking on that. So now you can see, and everything is in order. Now the same, I can come back and do a text for the body, and I can have here, right? And I can continue typing. So I can select, and I can change all of the colors for that. You can see this outline, right? And each of the colors are all of the shapes colors here. There we go. And you can see, now it's hard, it's bad color choices, but you have your own design, your own idea of what you want. But you can play with it. Just getting it kind of thrown together to have a draft is much easier because you can save it. Alright, so we're going to pretend this is it. This is our newsletter, right? We've completely covered it. You know how to do the text, the color, write the pictures, the elements, and the lines. All of that together. Now, let's talk about downloading. Here you can see blue and white monochrome, photos, parent, newsletter. put whatever name you want to put, because when you come back to try to find it, that's how you're going to find it. So I'm just going to put my newsletter. So you can actually share it or download it. When you download it, it's going to give you something suggested. Probably better to go with the suggested, which I would do PDF print for a newsletter anyways, but you have that choice, right? So you have these PNG, JPEG, MP4, which doesn't make sense because you're printing it. Alright, so you can do the print letterheads. Now you can do this separately. Now this is actually where Canva will pay for it. Or you will pay to Canva and they will print it for you and send it. So 50 copies, $105, all the way down to 1,000 copies, $1,420, right? With 49% off, so $2,800 for 1,000 copies. You can do that if you'd like. Double-sided, single-sided, all 3 pages, right? Standard paper, premium paper, you get the idea. If you don't want to do that, of course, download it here. Come over here, you can actually share the link with friends, you can present it in a presentation, Instagram business, so all of these you can share, Google Drive, you can send it there as well. You can download it, go back to your file, go somewhere, have it printed for you if you want as well, or print it yourself. That's it. Again, everything's the same as we've did a graphic design for other things. It's the same interface, all of it is very, very easy. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. That's all we have for today, and I will see you next time. All right, until then, cheerios.